All right, I'd like to call to order our organizational meeting, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mary, will you do the roll call, please?
Yes, Palmer.
Here.
Hool.
Here.
Petway.
Here.
Medeiros.
Here.
Granlund. Here. Mueller.
Here.
Superintendent Stenvik.
Here.
Thank you. Our mission statement is creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner. All belong, all succeed. Our core values are community, excellence, collaboration, integrity, respect, courage, and innovation. Next, we'll have approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Michelle, and a second?
Second.
Second by Mary. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Next, we have the organization of the board. Is everybody ready?
No.
No.
Yep. All right. So the first part of the organization of the board is the nomination for board offices. Any board member may be nominated for any office. A nomination does not require a second, and each office is voted separately. So just a reminder, I will ask for nominations. You can then say a board member's name that you wish to nominate for that position. I will then ask for nominations 2 more times for a total of 3 times, I believe. And then at that point, we will vote. And when you vote, you say we'll do each vote as like a roll call vote, and you say the person's name that you're voting for. If there's only one person nominated, I think we can just do a majority vote with the ayes and whatnot, right, Jessica?
I think so.
Perfect. I think so too. Okay, that's what we did last year. So, okay, great. First order of business is our election of the chair. Is there a nomination for chair? Laura.
I would like to nominate Lorian Mueller.
Lorian Mueller has been nominated for the position of chair. Are there any other nominations for the position of chair? Are there any other nominations for the position of chair? Right, Lorian Mueller has been nominated for the position of chair. As the only nomination, we can do a majority vote. All those in favor of Lorian Mueller for chair signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? And thank you all for your confidence. Lorian Mueller continues as chair. Next, I would ask for a nomination for the position of vice chair. Laura.
I get to do the nominating tonight. Yes. I would like to nominate Mary Granlund.
Mary Granlund has been nominated for the position of vice chair. Is there any additional nominations for the position of vice chair? Are there any other nominations for the position of vice chair? All right, we can also do a majority vote on this one as well, as Mary Granlund has been the only nomination for the position of vice chair. All those in favor of Mary Granlund for the position of vice chair signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mary.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Do we do our seat swapping now, or should we wait until
We'll
we're done
wait.
with the, okay.
And we'll do it for the
At
next
the next meeting?
Yeah.
Perfect, okay. Next, we have our election of clerk. And I ask for a nomination for somebody to fill the role of clerk. Mary.
I would like to nominate Michelle Petway.
Michelle Petway has been nominated for the position of clerk. Are there any other nominations for the position of clerk? Are there any other nominations for the position of clerk? Hearing none, we'll vote as Michelle Petway has been the only nomination for the position of clerk. All those in favor of Michelle Petway serving as the position of clerk signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Congratulations, Michelle.
Thank you.
Next, we have our election of treasurer. I'd like to ask for nominations to fill the role of treasurer. Mary?
I would like to nominate Julie Hool.
Julie Hool has been nominated to fill the position of treasurer. Are there any other nominations for the position of treasurer? Are there any other nominations for the position of treasurer? All right, Julie Hool has been our only nomination for the position of treasurer, so we will do a majority vote. All those in favor of Julie Hool as treasurer signify by saying aye. It's not really a motion, really, it's more Julie has been nominated or selected as treasurer. You all get what I mean. Okay. You guys made me chair
Congratulations,
again.
everybody. Thank you.
Definitely will get it right in the minute.
That's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to all of you serving, all of us serving in these roles. Next, we have our appointment of parliamentarian and adoption of Robert's Rules of Order. One second.
It's an appointment.
Yes. There's a lot of pages in this, so, sorry. Okay. So the school board chair will appoint one to the school board members as parliamentarian for the year, and then the board will act on a proposal to adopt Robert's Rules of Order. I would like to appoint Jessica Medeiros as our continued parliamentarian. Anybody have any discussion or conversation? Jessica, would you accept that role?
Yes, I accept.
Everybody good? Okay, Jessica has been appointed to, as the role of parliamentarian. Next, I need a motion to adopt Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised as the Rules of Order for the School Board of Columbia Heights Public School District number 13, except for modified by board policy, and appoint Jessica Medeiros as parliamentarian for 2024.
So moved.
Julie, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Laura. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next is our meeting dates and times. So in this area, we set both our meeting dates and times. If you look in your board book, there is a suggested motion. Has it been updated?
Yes, it has.
It has been updated. Thank you, Stephanie. The edited suggested motion is that we declare that the meeting date and time for regular board meetings shall be the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at 6 p.m., with the exception of February 2024, in which the meetings will be February 6th and February 20th, July, in which the meeting will be the third Tuesday, and December would only have one meeting. No new business shall be taken up by the school board after 10:45 p.m. except by unanimous consent of the board members. Work sessions have been scheduled the third Tuesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. School board meetings will be held in the district community room or otherwise designated school district site. Can I get a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Fred, Laura, and a second.
I second it.
Second by Julie. Discussion.
So the big change here would be moving the start time for our regular meetings from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m., thus aligning with what the city council has also done in Columbia Heights, which they've moved their meeting times back to 6 as well. So
Yeah, and I think, and we've had some long meetings, we've had good meetings, but allowing us to start at a little bit earlier time and not be here until 10 o'clock p.m. as well. So, yes. Also, just as noted, the two February meetings are due to a special election in the city of Columbia Heights, which conflicts with one of our meetings, and caucus night, which also conflicts with one of our meetings. So it's adjusting the February schedule around those two meetings. So, any other discussion? Jessica?
I just wanted to note that the motion talks about a location of meetings too, and it does say or otherwise designated school district site, and we are looking as a board at having some work sessions out at our school locations, and so for anyone that might like to attend a work session, we'll be communicating that out.
Yes, perfect, excellent, yeah, and we will have, the school calendar that has been printed, we'll need to send out an update because it currently does have through the school year our meetings starting at 7 p.m. in all locations here, but as the school district, or as the subcommittee on community engagement has communicated to the board of having work sessions, that's why we added the otherwise designated school district site. Superintendent Stenbeck.
Just to note that the most up-to-date district calendar is always the one that's on the website. Is that one gets updated frequently as compared to the paper version that's sent out.
Perfect.
So that's
Yep.
always a good place to look.
Yep, thank you. Any other discussion? All Right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Just one point of clarification, that does not count for the regular school board meeting that is tonight at 7 p.m.
Thank you for that
We
clarification.
cannot speed run this one to
Right.
start at 6. Got it.
Right. All right. Next, we have the appointment of board representatives, and the board will be asked to approve and appoint board representatives on standing committees. Give me just 1 second. Okay. We have several different obligations that we all have, and we will start with the MSBA Legislative Liaison. Do we have somebody who would like to serve in that role? Jessica?
I served in that role last year, and I'd be up for doing it again, unless there's anyone chomping at the bit.
Or we're all good with Jessica? Yep, perfect. EXU, that's something I have served on. That is one meeting, usually annual meeting in April, and that's with our, what is it called?
It's now called Brightworks.
Brightworks,
sorry.
thank you. Our Brightworks partner, and so I would be happy to continue serving in that role, or if anybody else would like to be a liaison. Zena, help me on, I know you are,
I'm on the executive board.
you're on the executive board. Do you want to just share a little bit about?
Yeah, Brightworks offers collective purchasing, at a lower cost. They also offer academic programs for our students, like Knowledge Bowl, and they offer professional development for staff, and then they also offer assistive technology for special education students. So, for example, if we needed auditory equipment for one student, so low incidences. So they provide, it's a cooperative, service cooperative. There are, I want to say 9 service cooperatives in the state of Minnesota, something like that. And it's the metro area service cooperative that we're a member of. So lots of different services and a lot of the collective pooling of funding at a reduced cost.
And the one meeting that our board member goes to, there are other things that come up in terms of like elections and different things that you do through email. And then the annual meeting, they really are sharing kind of all of the things that they've been doing and impacts that they've made in their districts. So, everybody good if I continue to serve in that role? Okay. We have the Minnesota State High School League representative. Mary, are you doing that currently?
I did that.
Oh,
Yeah, Julie.
Julie voted.
Yeah, we voted for a member to be on the board. However, I didn't go to any board meetings. I think I was a little more, since I was new, I didn't quite understand the role and what I could even do at a board meeting to go to one. So to tell you the truth, I think that's the only thing I did was vote for a representative to be on the board.
Sure. Okay. Is that something that you would like to do again this year?
Yeah, if somebody could give me a little more guidance on what is required,
Yeah.
because I kind of just didn't know what to do.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
so I don't mind doing it. I
Okay.
just wasn't sure.
Yeah, perfect. Anybody else interested in that role? Okay. Julie, we'll have you do that again, and I'll work with you on that
Perfect.
as well.
Thank you.
Northeast Metro 916 Board.
Laura. Yeah, I mean,
Laura?
I'm looking at Laura.
Yeah, we're all looking at you.
Yeah.
You're looking
Laura.
I know, Laura, you have served in this role for a number of years, and it's
Yeah.
a passion of yours.
Yes, it is. It
So
is.
is that something?
And it's super convenient for me
Yeah.
too, because I can just leave work and drive up the street and go right to it. So that actually works out pretty nice. It was different when I was in Eden Prairie. That was a really long trip. So
Would you like to continue to serve in that role?
I would like to continue serving in that role.
Is there anybody else who would like to unseat Laura? and serve?
goodness, no.
No, but I would like to say that I do really appreciate the liaison work that you do. I mean, you really do bring a lot of communication back to us about the activities of 916 and provide us opportunities to get engaged with their work too. So thank you for that.
And thank you, everybody who has actually managed to get out there to view some of the different services and stuff. There's some really groundbreaking work that's being done over there, and our students are benefiting.
Yeah. Laura, you've done an exceptional job in that role,
Yeah.
so thank you.
you.
Yeah. Great, perfect. Next, we have the liaison to the City of Columbia Heights. Currently, that is Michelle, right? Is there anybody, who all is interested in being the liaison to the City of Columbia Heights?
I kind of have a question.
Yeah.
About like when we set like the schools versus the cities, I guess, because we just did the schools.
Yep, we're gonna do the schools again here
Okay.
tonight.
So it's like I just got that, so I was like, are we doing it tonight too? I guess I got confused.
Yeah, so we just started we will do, let me figure, we just did our July through June,
Okay,
right? So just kind of starting this summer, we're in our current roles, and that'll
Right.
go through next June. And then what, the ones that we do tonight, you'll start July 1st.
okay, got it. Okay, I think I got it.
But,
Yep,
no, I don't
No.
think that's true.
No.
It's, if you
I
click
think
on the
it's-
2023, it's there.
But I think it's January through
Yeah.
June is,
These assignments are
One
January
buildings.
through
these
These.
assignments, yes.
sorry, I thought you were talking about the school site.
Right, these
liaisons.
assignments that we're currently doing are effective immediately. The school liaison ones are effective July 1st.
Because, so it's annual, like the calendar year versus the school
Correct.
year.
Yeah.
Correct.
got it.
I see.
Yes. The school liaisons are the school year.
Yep.
Yep, so these ones that we're doing are right now. So the liaison to the City of Columbia Heights would start now as the liaison to Columbia Heights. Yep.
I've never done it.
Yeah.
And it's literally at the bottom of my street. Unless, Michelle, unless you want to give it
I
another
mean,
year.
I love Columbia Heights and going to their meetings,
up to
but
you.
I am willing to let you travel to the bottom of your street every now and again.
I always look at proximity to be able to make sure
I'll
that I
still
can
be
get
there
there.
sometimes.
And with your time on the board and that this is would be the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
time.
This would be
that
the
you've done it?
first
I
time.
think it'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The first
Have
time.
at it.
be awesome.
all right, Laura for Columbia Heights. Liaison to the City of Fridley.
I would like to do that again.
Yeah, well, and you are a resident in Fridley,
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah.
is everybody okay with
Yeah.
Julie? Anybody else interested in the City of Fridley?
I kind of was, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But I feel like I need to learn outside of that anyway. And I don't think like this first year you really like dug in like you wanted to, so. You can, yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, oh, Julie, you've done a nice job with getting us connected with the City Fridley Council and stuff too, so, okay, Julie. City of Hilltop. I've currently served in that role.
How has
and
that
did a-
been?
Did a pretty terrible job at it, so, yep.
Well, only because I know that there's a lot of Spanish speaking and like I get a little intimidated by that.
Yeah.
So,
I'd be happy for someone to take on that role if you would like. Did you
I'd
want to
be
give it a
into
try?
it. Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Michelle for the City of
life's an
Hilltop.
adventure.
Yeah. Perfect. Next, we have our school board subcommittees. Our school board subcommittee on policy. I know, Mary, this is
I
where it
know, I'm like
changes,
so sad, yeah.
right? So the school board subcommittee on policy is chaired by the chair, so I will be on the school board policy subcommittee. We would, and then next is the school board community engagement subcommittee, and our vice chair is chair of that, so that will be Mary. So Mary's gonna switch committees there. We need 2 more people to be on the policy subcommittee. Julie,
I'd like to do that again.
Jessica,
I'm interested, yeah.
everybody?
Yeah, that works
Yeah.
for me.
Subcommittee on policy is Lorian, Julie, and Jessica. And our subcommittee on community engagement then would be Mary, Michelle, and Laura.
That works.
Perfect. Our
Wish I
representative,
could be on both.
I know.
I know.
Oh, that's such a quorum thing. I'm actually,
know.
yep. I'm surprised you didn't jump right back in on the
Well,
policy.
no, because we kind of got some things I think we're working on right now, and I kind of want to see them
Passionate
a little
about
bit
some other
more.
stuff now.
I want to see a little bit more developed.
Perfect.
Yes.
I think my grad school professor who was like, oh, yeah, you got to care about policy. And at the time, I was like, I don't know why. Now I do. And so I'm sad to leave it. I remember this for you too, Laura. Like, you were sad to switch, but it'll be good. It'll be fantastic, so.
Great. Well, welcome to the committee, Jessica. Looking forward to seeing all the great things the subcommittee on community engagement is doing. Next, we have our Association of Metropolitan School Districts, AMSD representative. Mary, that's something that you have served before?
Yes, I've been serving in that role for a while. I'm happy to continue unless somebody else would like to join that. They have meetings pretty regularly, once a month. It's usually the first Friday. There are sometimes when they don't meet, but there's a lot of things talking about legislative asks and what we're seeing. So it's generally a really good time. I wish I could go in person a lot, but they do have a streaming option, which is very nice, so.
Perfect. That good with?
I'll actually add another thing to it. It's also great for networking. I'd say it's amazing for networking, talking to other district leaders and seeing what's going on with them, superintendents, I mean, it really is a good broad kind of, from the larger districts to the smaller districts. It's great, but it is on a Friday morning at like a ridiculously
7:30.
early time.
And it does
Yes.
conflict with the Columbia Heights Business Council, so
And it
you
does.
cannot meet it.
It cannot be on both.
I mean, I'd be interested in it.
Go for it.
Just
I'd
so
be-
happens I'm
Yeah.
free at 7:30 in the morning on Fridays.
And you can attend it in person at Quora, right? It's
Yes,
over- it's
yep,
off
and
of-
that starts at 7 in person, I believe. They've got like a social hour and coffee and things, but
Yeah.
I guess I'm just curious as to if I mean, I'm sure there is, but like more information on like specifics of a lot of these roles for us.
You can
I
check
liked
out.
getting that packet when I was like new, and then it was like, here's everything.
Yes, yeah, we did provide that when you were new,
Yeah.
more than we did for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will also say that they also have a really great website, which will show pretty much everything that they're working on. So if you want to dive into that, I mean, definitely, it's available to the public too. Take a look and see what the districts are saying and what policies and changes that we're looking to enact. So it's good.
I was just going to say, the other thing is, I know Superintendent Stenvik also watches remotely, so we generally will text back and forth about things that are talked about. So even though I can't be there in person, it's nice to be able to have somebody that you know is there, or that is also watching it with you and checking in about the stuff, so that's been really nice too. So, sorry, Julie.
So I have a question. So is this, the AMSD, are you attending the meeting and just taking notes and coming back? Or or do you get to put input into it?
So
Yeah,
both of those
both?
things. Yep.
Okay.
So they do actually probably one of the best jobs I've seen about making sure that people are integrated from Zoom and making sure that those questions are being very promptly answered and asked. And they do solicit a lot of feedback. And I will be honest, it's at times, it does seem like they actually get more feedback from the people on Zoom than even in person. People asking those questions and looking for clarification. So they do a really good job.
I feel like somebody who's like been at this a little longer is like better equipped to deal with that environment and give good answers and feedback. And I just don't think I'm quite there yet.
That's
that-
why
Right there?
That's why I text message Superintendent Stenbeck. Yep.
Right
All
there.
right.
So I would say, I know Mary said she'd do it, Julie is interested, or Michelle is interested.
I'm happy, Michelle, if you are interested in it, I'm happy to share that with you. Go ahead.
It scares me.
You heard things.
Yay.
You could, yes.
I guess the other thing I'd note too is we can think about all of these positions as representative positions and that liaison role. So, I don't think any of us are alone, right, in that
Yeah.
role. We're representatives of the board. So, I mean, at least from my perspective, any one of you in your liaison role could come to the board, talk to us about what's going on or what are some of the significant issues. And we can, provide feedback on that for anyone to bring back. We could also come together as a board if we ever wanted to and, bring a proposal forward or something in some of these groups where that's appropriate. So, we might have one representative, but it's truly a board effort.
I don't know, like dive in, then I'm like, no, just maybe hold on. It seems interesting. I want to get information, but I also want to be able to like, you know.
I think you're going to be
Is
just
that
fine.
something that we can have
Multiple?
Mary continue to do and Julie could, or
I can do
Michelle
Julie
could
tonight,
also continue, could attend?
Yeah,
just to
Yeah.
catch it.
Did
as long
maybe
as it
get-
doesn't, as long as we're not a
We're not quorum, I mean,
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is. It's just like diving in, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and like, you know, it's a big ask for me, like personally, because I'm
Yeah.
just not feeling like there yet, and I want to be sure, like, and confident.
so do
in
we want to
that
have
space.
Mary continue that role and then get also the information and meetings and everything to Michelle?
Yeah,
and
that'd
then
be
you
cool.
can
I love
join in
that.
as well?
Kind of training.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
scaffold it.
I'll get my training wheels off sometime soon.
Perfect,
Thank you so much.
yeah. And then the Columbia Heights Business Council, it's something Jessica has done this year as well. Is that something you'd like to continue to do or open that up for others?
Yeah, either way, if anyone's interested in taking that over, I can talk a little bit about what the group is. So when they meet, you meet at the city offices, and there are representatives there from lots of local businesses, from the city, and there's usually a topic at each of the meetings. So we've had topics this year about upcoming road construction and safety projects, city projects. Superintendent Stenvik and some representatives from the district came and talked about our levy when that was coming up. And then we usually have a roundtable at the end of that presentation. So everybody talks a little bit about what's kind of going on in their world, which is a nice way to get to know local business representatives in the community, what's going on at the city level. At the last meeting, I was able to express my appreciation to the community for passing the levy. I was able to talk a little bit about our upcoming strategic planning process, pieces of our school district work that really impact businesses in the city. So that's kind of what it looks like. I'm happy to continue to attend, but I'm also happy to open that up.
And those are also 7 a.m. on Fridays. Is it quarterly?
Yeah, I think quarterly. The calendar's a little confusing to me, but yes, Friday mornings early.
Anybody else? Jessica, we'll let you
All right.
have that role again. Perfect. All right, we will need to vote on these, so if I can get a motion to approve our MSBA legislative liaison is Jessica, the EXU Lorian, Minnesota State High School League Julie, Northeast Metro Intermediate District 916 Board Laura, liaison to the City of Columbia Heights Laura, liaison to the City of Fridley Julie, liaison to the City of Hilltop Michelle, School Board Policy Subcommittee Lorian, Julie, and Jessica, School Board Community Engagement Subcommittee Mary, Michelle, and Laura, Association of Metropolitan School Districts Mary with Michelle also attending, Columbia Heights Business Council Jessica. The motion to approve as stated.
So moved?
Mary, and a second?
Second.
Julie, any discussion?
Do we need to amend EXU to read Brightworks?
Oh,
Is that ECSU?
EXU,
It's
yeah.
Brightworks.
It's like what we call MEA, but nobody else calls it MEA anymore. Yeah.
any other discussion? Right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Stephanie, did you get those? I tried to reread them for you. Okay. Next, we have our appointment of board building liaisons. So as discussed previously, these are for the liaisons that are effective July 1st of 2024. So we need a liaison to Columbia Heights High School, which I am currently serving. Mary,
I would love to do that.
anybody else interested? Okay, Mary. Columbia Academy,
I would do that.
Jessica? Everybody good with that? Okay, Highland? You know, I'll do Highland. I'll start and end.
It's a good,
my-
it's a good bookmark
Yeah,
or
where
bookend.
my kids went to kindergarten.
Mine too.
North Park.
I'd love to do them for Anita's last year.
Yep, okay.
See, I know your family's in it, but I would like to do it as
Yeah.
well because
Well, she's
it's
just going
in
in the fifth
Fridley.
next year. and
So
just
when I
want-
work with Fridley, I like to be able to
Yeah.
bring up the.
And I did make
North
that
Park.
suggestion last year,
But we
too.
could work together.
No,
to-
I'll still be there. You can't,
Yeah,
they're
well,
not
and I would
getting
say,
rid of
Julie,
me.
you did do North Park last year, so you're serving North Park currently.
Right.
So, and it would be good for you to get exposure to a different school
Sure.
as
I
well.
forget that it's
Yep.
on the calendar.
Yeah,
not
yeah, on the school year.
Because it'll
Yeah.
change over anyway to a different,
Right, so currently, right now, Julie, you are the representative to North Park until, through the end of June.
Okay.
And then,
yeah, I was just thinking about that whole thing of whoever has Fridley would have North Park, but at the same time, first off, it would never end because it's not on the same,
Yep.
you know, year
Yeah.
or time frame. So, you know, it'll have to get split up.
so are we good with having Michelle do North Park for this upcoming
I'll
year?
give it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Michelle. And Valley View.
Which one do you want, Julie?
We have Valley View and the Family Center left.
You get to pick one.
I get to pick one?
Yes, you get to pick one.
The family center is here, right?
Yes.
I'll do that one.
You
The
know what
little,
that is?
that's the littles, right?
Yeah.
Oh, let me do that
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I'll do Valley View, obviously.
Perfect. So, all right, if I can have a motion to approve our building liaisons, Mary to Columbia Heights High School, Jessica to Columbia Academy, Lorian to Highland, Michelle to North Park, Laura to Valley View, and Julie to the Family Center. Motion to approve that.
Motion, I move.
Yep. Julie, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jessica. All those in favor, oh, excuse me, is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. Next is our salaries and per diem for board members and board officers. Did provide our current stipend as well as some other school board and the current per diem, which has not changed at least in the last 10 years. So,
Been longer than that.
yeah. The last 10 years is on this piece of paper, so,
Can I put a motion in?
yeah.
I move that we just keep it the way it is because our budget is not exactly for raising this number.
That's fair.
Great, so a motion to, has been made to keep the salaries at $500 per month with $100 additional for the chair, and the per diem at $50 a day up to 4 hours, and $100 a day in excess of 4 hours. Is there a second to that motion?
Second?
Second by Mary. Any discussion? Mary?
I just want to say in agreement with Julie, yes. We obviously are not looking at raising this at all for a number of reasons, but keeping it the same way it's been for literally over a decade.
Yeah, great, thank you. Any other discussion? Great, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Next, we have our designation of depositories resolution. We get to be joined now. You get to hear somebody else talk besides me. Director Hennekins.
Thank you, Chair Mueller, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. The first item that I have is designation of depositories, and there's a resolution. And so I just wanted to note that there's no changes. We continue to work with the same financial organizations, Northeast Bank, US Bank, Metzloff, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. Technically, Metzloff and US Bank are really the same thing. And PMA Financial Network. So looking for approval of the resolution.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and read the resolution. Resolution designating depositories. Be it resolved that the following be designated as depositories for certain monies of this school district, and as such are authorized and directed to honor and/or pay checks or orders when signed by the treasurer and the clerk for the withdrawal or transfer of funds on deposit in said bank in whatever form. Northeast Bank, U.S. Bank, Minnesota School District Liquid Asset Fund Plus, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. Be it further resolved that the following investment brokers are hereby authorized and directed to honor orders when signed by the treasurer and clerk for the withdrawal or transfer of funds on deposit in said instructions in whatever form. PMA Financial Network. Be it further resolved that in case such deposits in the designated banks shall at any time exceed $250,000, said depository shall immediately furnish bond or securities in lieu of bond according to law, and the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis, Minnesota, or any of the aforementioned depositories are hereby designated as the place for a safekeeping of all securities furnished in lieu of such bond. Can I get a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
Julie, and a second.
Second.
Second by Mary. Any discussion? Jessica?
I support this resolution. I just have a question about sort of the cycle of review, or is there a, like, how often do we kind of take a look at our depositories?
As far as like reviewing moving banks,
Yeah, well, I guess not looking at moving banks specifically, but just sort of reviewing what are,
yes.
you know,
So I'll just use an example, like direct deposits. So direct deposits, when I started in the organization, when we were using a previous financial system, kind of had a clunky process of flowing through US Bank and Northeast Bank together. But that's the way that we needed to do it within when we were TIE's organization. And so once we moved off of that in eFinance, after about 3 years in eFinance, we looked at it and we said, why are we doing this still? We don't need to anymore. So we reviewed it, and we now process our direct deposits straight through US Bank. It's more efficient, and it saves us time and money. So yes, we do look at that for efficiencies, but we haven't seen really a need. I mean, Wells Fargo, it houses our OPEB trust. We're sticking there. They're doing a great job with that. We do meet with them yearly. So yes, we do connect with the organizations and have a review of sorts over time.
thanks.
Yep. Good question.
Any other discussion? All right, as this is a resolution, this is a roll call vote. Michelle, as our clerk, will
Aye.
you call the roll, please,
Oh.
actually? So this is your first act as the clerk.
You're very enthusiastic
And you get to
about
sign lots of
depositories.
papers,
I'm
too.
like, yay, I get to go first. Why is she so excited?
So in this role,
Yes.
I know that you've seen it done before, but just call whichever order you want. Just make sure you call all of our names, not Superintendent Stenbeck, for the vote.
Got it. Hool,
Aye.
Palmer,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Granlund,
Aye.
Medeiros,
Aye.
Petway, aye.
Fantastic. Resolution passes. Great job.
I forgot about that.
Can I ask a question quick?
Yeah.
Did someone make a motion to accept the resolution before we voted on it?
Yeah,
I
Julie.
did.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did. Sorry, Julie.
It was Julie and
Jessica. I think.
Mary.
No,
Jessica.
me.
No, it was
Somebody
Mary.
had
I
a
think
second.
Laura.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification, Stephanie. Thank you. Director Hennekins, we have you next for the designation of electronic transfer designees.
Yes, annually, thank you, Chair Mueller, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. Annually, we have to designate electronic transferee designees. The board, this evening, asking the board to authorize or appoint myself, Brian Hennekins, and Lee Lohr, who's the Deputy Director of Finance and Operations, as the designees in processing electronic transfers.
Can I get a motion to appoint Brian Hennekins and Lee Lohr as designees in processing electronic transfers?
So moved.
Laura, and a second.
Second.
Second by Jessica. Any discussion? Julie?
So normally when I see, I normally see like the superintendent being a part of this. Is there a second person, like a backup?
So there's two people for the reason of backup. So the reality is our Deputy Director of Finance and Operations does the transfers, and then I review and sign off on those transfers. And yes.
I automatically get it sent to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So I review it.
anytime there's a transfer, she gets an email, Superintendent Stenbeck gets an email. And so, yes, she's also looped in because she's on the account. But we're the two that are really authorized to make them. But so there is, yes, a process.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yes,
Great
good question.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Next, we have our designation of legal counsel and contacts. Director Hennikens.
Thank you, Chair Mueller, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. So this evening, we're seeking approval for appointing designees of legal counsel. We work with mainly Ratwick, Rosewick, and Maloney. Our primary people are Margaret Skelton, Joseph Langle, and Laura Tubbs Booth. They have their expertise areas. Of course, sometimes others get involved in those conversations within that organization, and we had worked with Andrea Hedke and Dorsey Whitney most recently with our aid anticipation. So whenever we're bonding or doing aid anticipation, we work with them, with her and Dorsey Whitney for legal counsel. That's their area of expertise. So this evening, seeking to maintain that and appoint those listed.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to appoint Margaret Skelton, Joseph Langle, Laura Tubbs Booth, and others of Ratwick, Rosac, Maloney, PA, and Andrea Hedke, Dorsey, and Whitney, LLP, as its legal counsel designees. The
So
contact, the contact shall be school board chair and superintendent and/or her designee.
So moved.
Julie, and a second.
Second.
Second by Michelle. Any discussion? Jessica?
It's a similar question to the depositories question, which is like how often or under what circumstances do we look at our existing relationships with legal counsel?
Yeah, it's kind of in a similar situation. Most recently when we looked at changing legal counsel, it was because our legal counsel that we were using retired. And through other things that we have worked on, in areas of expertise like special education, we had worked with others from Ratwick, Rosewick, Maloney. And so, like I said, whether it's a contract, whether it's special education, or whether it's dealing with staffing and employment law. So they have their experts, and as anything that changes in that area, we'll be looking at, potential review of that. As of right now, we're very solid in the services that we receive for them.
Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you. And Director Hennikens, authorizing the superintendent and director of finance to lease, purchase, and contract for goods and services.
Thank you, Chair Mueller, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. So this last item, so Minnesota Statute 123B.52 addresses that the superintendent and business manager authority to lease, purchase, and contract goods for service. And so in our case, business manager is the director of finance and operations. And specifically, subdivision 2 states the board may authorize the superintendent or business manager to lease, purchase, and contract goods and service within the budget as approved by the board. The board's delegation of authority under this provision applies so as long as the estimated amount of transaction does not exceed $175,000. $175,000 is when I'm coming to the school board and asking for to post an ad and get bid authorization and move through that formal bid process. So what this is authorizing Superintendent Stenbeck and myself to sign contracts and enter in agreements. Like if we need to contract with a new staffing company to get a new special education person to within our district because we're unable to hire someone, we're going to enter into a contract with them for that. This authorizes us to do that as long as it's within the budget and doesn't exceed that $175,000. So seeking approval this evening for that.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to designate the superintendent and the director of finance and operations authorization to lease, purchase, and contract for goods and services within the budget as approved by the school board in amounts up to $175,000 pursuant to Minnesota statute section 123B.52 subdivision 2?
So moved?
Mary, and a second.
Second.
Second by Julie. Any discussion? Jessica?
I think you mentioned this in your explanation, but I missed it. So that $175,000 threshold, that is a statutory threshold, or that's a board policy threshold?
It's statutory.
Okay,
So
thank you.
that's what moves us into the formal bid process and within bid law and statute.
Thanks.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or discussion?
I have
Julie?
one question. How do we avoid getting several under the 175? What is the rule? Like if you got 350, or I don't know, 100, a 50, and a 25, and all of those are below 175, but in total for the same contractor, can that even happen?
Well, potentially,
question.
it is a good question. It potentially could, but it's really about the same project. So, if I was doing a project at the high school here, it's the same project with the same contractor. I can't split that up and to try to avoid this $175,000. It's a one project, and that is looked at. And so, that would be an example of, no, we're going to come and we're going to ask you for approval for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, great question. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you, Director Hennikens. We'll see you later at our next meeting. Next, we have our designation of election clerk. Superintendent Simic.
Yes, this evening, I'm seeking approval from the board to designate Stephanie Alvarez as our election clerk.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to appoint Stephanie Alvarez as the election clerk designee?
So moved.
Laura, and a second.
Second.
Second by Michelle. Any discussion? Laura?
Are you sure you want to do this?
Sure, it's in the job description.
Okay, thank you. Exactly. Thank you.
This is just formal.
Yeah, I always just think it's kind of polite, because they can be kind of messy on occasion,
Yeah.
so.
She did do a great job.
You did,
of it.
yeah, you did a wonderful job, so I have great confidence, I just.
It'll be a lot easier the second time around, working with the city too. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Next, we have Director Sunkel with our designation of the official newspaper.
Good evening, Chair Mueller, members of the board, Superintendent Stenvik. This evening, I come to you with our annual decision about the official newspaper. So, the selection of the official legal publication for this school district is based on Minnesota Statute 331A.02. The Northeaster and the Life, formerly the Columbia Heights Fridley Sun Focus, whose distribution covers some or all of the school district's boundaries, were sent a notice of submitting proposals November 20th, 2023, with a deadline of December 20th, 2023. Only the Life newspaper submitted a bid prior to the deadline. Based on the review of the circulation area, frequency of publication and pricing, and that it was the only submitted bid, the recommendation is that the Life be named the official legal publication for Columbia Heights Public Schools for this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Sunkel. Can I get a motion to designate the Life as the official newspaper for calendar year 2024 for the Columbia Heights Public School District?
So moved?
Mary, in a second.
I'll second.
Second by Julie. Any discussion? Mary?
We talked about this last year and the other years that this has happened. It's really sort of disappointing and sad. The Northeaster is a locally owned community newspaper. And obviously, I, as a board member and as a community member would want to support local quality news that, has people who live here doing that work and being really embedded in. And unfortunately, just the distribution time works out a lot better for us in terms of bidding and things like that. The Life does a great job, don't get me wrong. It is always a little bit bittersweet when we come to this vote for me, so.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Thank you, Director Senko. And that is our last item on our organizational meeting agenda, so I will adjourn at 6:22.